All right, folks, welcome back to round two of the Pro League NASA Sim Racing. We are at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. We are running the Delara DW12 this evening. My name is John Lindsay. I'm coming at you from unincorporated Yolo County. I have my broadcast partner in Austin, Texas, Will Falls. Will, how are things going with you?
NASA Sim Racing. We are at
Things are going great. Beautiful weather out here in Austin, Texas, and I'm excited to go racing tonight
My name is John Lindsay.
in Monterey, California.
Unincorporated Yolo County. I have my broadcast. Yeah, a legendary track, one that both you and I have a lot of time on. Of course, it's right outside of Monterey, California, out towards the hills there.
Texas, and
Track's been around since I believe the late 50s. They used to do the racing down there in the Del Monte Forest. And then they came up with this beautiful place, and boy, has it evolved over the years, and it still is a world-class facility. I did get schooled a little bit, Will, on the Facebook, though, where I was talking about the Octagon last week when we were there with the Club League, and apparently it got demolished. So that shows you how long it's been since I've been to Laguna.
Oh, crazy. I didn't even know that either. WeatherTech. I have to keep saying WeatherTech.
Right, not Mazda, even though we love Mazda.
Yes.
We also love WeatherTech. Great floor mats, great products from WeatherTech. Of course, we want to thank our sponsors for our Sim Racing League. That is Toyo Tires, Hawk Performance, and Competition Motorsport right there in Austin, Texas, where Will is. Competition Motorsport, of course, our official safety supplier for NASA. And Will, you've added in some more sponsors since we last were on the broadcast here.
Yeah, there's some great prizes for the Pro League tonight. Racers 360 has added a NASA member benefit and a contingency for the Sim Racing Leagues. Everybody, all NASA members, get a 1-week trial of the Racer 360 service, where they do track walks, driving techniques, lots of great videos, all kinds of great stuff. Everybody gets a 1-week trial there, and the winner of the season champion of the league is going to get 1 year access to that Racers Lounge. Also, our good friends based out of here out of Texas, trackdecals.com, are doing a contingency for this race. Starting at 4th place, going back to 10th, they're going to be doing store credits. So they do anything from just vinyl numbers all the way up to full liveries on race cars. So it's going to be cool. People will be able to get their real life hoopties looking nice like these iRacing rigs in real life. Additionally, we've added GTR Simulator. This is a really cool prize, John. The season winner of the Pro League is going to get it's what they call their GTA Pro rig. It's a full sim setup, seat, chair, mounts for triple screens. It's a really cool setup. And the winner of the Club League is going to get their light rig, which is something that kind of be used with your desk and at home in your office. It doesn't take up a lot of space and gets put away nice. Really great to have them on board. It's really cool. Additionally, the winner of this being the Pro League tonight is going to take home $100 cash, and we're paying all the way cash all the way through 4th place tonight. So a lot on the line here tonight.
Yeah, of course, the difference between the club and pro leagues here in the NASA Sim Racing League. The Pro League costs a little bit of scratch to enter, but you do stand to win a little bit of money if you are successful in staying at the pointy end of the grid. But you're also eligible for great contingency prizes, just like you would be with NASA when you're on the actual track, which we hope to get back to soon. So once again, we are in the NASA Sim Racing Leagues. We're at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. I'm John Lindsay. I have Will Falls with me. iRacers Resource with our good friend PJ Losi is doing the broadcast. He's our producer for this evening. Right now, we are just finishing out our qualifying session, I believe. So far, top qualifier is Mr. Matt Cresci with a 106.52. Or actually, no, excuse me, a 105.70. Austin Edwards right now on track, and he's a 105.71. And then Gun Kim, our perennial gunner there, he's 105.95. So again, lots of close racing again, just like we've seen all throughout the NASA Pro and Club Sim Racing Leagues.
Yeah, a lot of these folks have been testing these cars here at Laguna Seca all week, and it shows. The times are really close, and this is going to prove to be as exciting. One thing that's way different, obviously, they're running the DW12 Indy car, which is a extremely difficult car to drive, ton of power, ton of grip, aero downforce. Could be exciting. I think they were doing like minute 40s last week. Now they're down to a minute 5. So a big speed difference. Big speed difference, and it's going to be some good, exciting racing tonight.
Now, Will, tell us a little bit about the cars we're racing. This looks a little bit different than what we were racing last week.
Yeah, this is the Dallara DW12 Indy car. It was used because primarily for our first league to keep costs down for people getting into sim racing. We're using a lot of the free cars that come with the iRacing membership. This was one of the more extreme cars that we decided to go with for the Pro League, and also it's open setup. So these drivers have adjusted everything from shock dampening, tire pressures, alignment settings, aero packages. It's the whole shebang. So as the cars are headed to grid now, we'll see them populate on the front straight, and we'll wait for everybody to get on the front straight grid, the click of a button, and look for the flagger to go green.
Yeah, we have the reverse Thanos snap, putting them all on the grid.
That's
And
right.
we see you there in the comments. Yes, the NorCal chapter is hoping to get back to WeatherTech Raceway soon. There are some negotiations in the works that I am privy to, as I talk to my good friend Jerry Kunzman all the time, and he is working on that. So hopefully this season or 2021, we will be back there, because it is such a fantastic, wonderful track to race. A little bit scary when you first get out there, but then it rewards you many times over, and also with the beautiful terrain. And hey, you're right in Monterey. Nothing's wrong with that. Even though, Will, Car Week is now probably pretty much dead, because the Pebble Beach concours is off. Everything else, I saw a lot of other events have been called off. So
Yeah, John, one other thing that's different this race is they're going to be doing a flying start. So the pace truck will take them around for a warm-up lap. They'll have some time to actually get some heat in the brakes and tires, and the truck will pull in the pits, and we'll have a flying start.
I like that you call it a flying start. I always hate it when people say rolling start, because that has visions of my head of cars rolling down the start finish line, which, hey, we've seen that before.
We have seen that, and me personally, in our region, yeah, we don't use the term rolling, but iRacing does use the term, so we'll see a lot of people talking about that tonight.
Yeah, it's just me being, kind of old and crusty, because I came into at least in the SCCA world when I was a rookie, and I made the mistake of saying red once, and the guy who was my good friend, Tall Paul, he was a really veteran flag marshal there in Southern California, and he said, we never say red, we always say crimson, never say
Crimson,
red
that's
again.
right. That's right.
Never say rolling, never say red, never say fire. Like, oh, that dude's fire, because then everybody scrambles. All right, we are away on our formation lap. It's kind of cool when the pace truck came in. It did a little lowrider bounce there. More bounce for the ounce. Interesting how they've decided to program everything. Of course, folks, this is iRacing, which is a great service. We've set up our NASA Sim Racing League on this platform, and it is as close to real as you can get. We hope to get back to real racing soon. You can see they're trying to warm tires up, and usually in the real world, you'll go fast and then slam on your brakes, try to get some heat in the brakes and the tires. And iRacing is so accurate that you have to do the same stuff, because they have this so dialed in that if you're on cold brakes or cold tires, you will definitely be into the sand or into somebody on turn one if you don't have everything warmed up. And someone already crashed on the formation lap.
Nice.
Hey, it happens. I've seen it in the real world. I've done it. I did it at an SCCA race when I was a kid. Well, not a kid, but when I was younger. Rain formation lap, and sure enough, I just took my attention away for a little bit. It was a button wheel. It was pouring, and I was on slick tires. Spun right around the formation lap. I got a very stern talking to. I almost got a radio thrown at me. And of course, folks, if you are out there and you are an active participant in any racing league that's out there with us, with SCCA, any of the others that are out there, please keep your membership and license current, because that's helping us all to maintain our revenue stream so that we're ready to go when the world is ready to go for you. So if you can, also support, there's great publications like Grassroots Motorsports, Classic Motorsports. We've also got Sports Car Market, just great publications out there that could really use your help. Field coming down the hill now into their final turns. One formation lap, Will, or two?
Should just be one lap. We'll see the pace car pull into the pits. There it is. The pace truck pulls into the pits.
Amazingly agile for a Silverado. That's pretty cool. All right, here they come, folks. We are anticipating the green this time by a flying start. Green, 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 and we are away the first lap of the second race of the NASA Sim Racing Pro League. Looks like Cressy did get the jump there. He is out front. Austin Edwards with a nice move. Gun Kim, Creshy's back down. He's having a battle with Edwards now. Those are those two front cars you see on the feed right now. And everybody's very tight. It looks like a pack of about 10 and then a gap as we are coming into turn number 3 and 4 now. Then we'll get ready to head up the hill, and they are flying. All right, folks, coming up the hill, they're going to head up there. That's where the infamous corkscrew is. They'll be hitting into it right now and then taking a long trip downward. Of course, that was where the infamous Zanardi maneuver was, where Alex Zanardi took a little bit of a shortcut and managed to gain a position in a race and became very famous for that. Very courageous maneuver. Now they're getting ready to complete the first lap. Again, tonight's race is 45 minutes. And Will, there's a little surprise coming at about minute 22.
Yeah, so, well, I think it'll be a little, just after that. I think the window for pit stops for fuel on these cars, somewhere between 20 and 24 laps. So everybody's going to have to make a pit stop. They'll be able to select right from their driver screen how much fuel they want to take and if they're going to take tires. So the iRacing simulation is really cool. It'll take more time if they're going to take tires, and they'll have to weigh whether it's worth it to stay out on old rubber or go back out on fresh rubber and make up that time.
Now, is there any choice of, like, I know in F1 you've got the intermediates and the hards, and all of that. Can you choose different compounds?
I don't think they can choose different compounds for this car in iRacing, so it'll just be a new fresh set.
Okay, cool. And folks, we are aware there's some problems with the stream. We're working to correct that a little bit. So again, Matt Creshy still out front with Hunter Leidig chasing him down. Hunter's up 2 positions from where he started. Then Austin Edwards, Gun Kim, Nate Olson, Andres Prieto, Todd Honksarenko, Harry Voigt, Scott Adams, and Eric Foss. That's your top 10 after the first lap, working lap 2, I believe, right now. All right, working lap 2. Looks like there's a good group up to the front. Looks like P4 is where up to P4 is where the lead group is, and another 1.8 seconds back to Andres Prieto and Nate Olson battling it out for P5. Headed back up the hill right now under the Mother's Car Care Bridge and up into that corkscrew. Very tricky in the corkscrew. The first time I went through it was with the Shelby Club, and the driver that told me, whoa, had a little bit of a spin there. Might have had some help. I think that may have been, let's see who starts dropping way off. That was a little bit of a spin right there. We may have had some help. We've seen a couple guys get into the weeds there. It looks like that was Mickey Miller. Of course, Mickey, a BMW Club racer and NASA racer of some note. Been in the game a long time. Glad to see him here online. And they're back down the hill again, focusing on our lead battle with Austin Edwards right now. You can see that, or hopefully if your stream is good enough, you can see that Matt Creshy is way out in front. He now has a 1.6 second gap. Leidig and Edwards and Gun Kim are all right together for 2, 3, 4. 2.5 seconds back to Nate Olson. Andres Prieto is 3.5 back from Olson. Then Honksarenko is 6 back from Prieto. Harry Voigt 6 back from Honksarenko. Austin Powell just charged up a couple positions. He's 10 seconds back from Harry Voigt, and Eric Foss right now 11 seconds back from Powell. So starting to see some spread, but that lead group of 2, 3, 4, Leidig, Edwards, and Gun Kim are all right together. We're following that right now. You can see they're really moving those cars around. And down into turn 2 now, or actually the final turn. Now they are coming back onto the front straight. Creshy way out in front. Best time for Creshy so far is 106.83, which he set on that lap. 107.5 the best for Edwards. Leidig a 107.56. Gun Kim's best, an identical time to Leidig, so with a 107.56. Nate Olson 107.37 best time. So folks, we are hearing from production that I'm sorry if you're watching this on the Facebook feed. We are getting perfect quality here, but for some reason the connection to Facebook is dropping a bit. But we'll try to call the action well enough to keep you in the game. A little bit of color about Hunter Leidig. He started in NASA's Subminer program, which is kind of unique. We can start drivers as young as 13 years old in race cars if they have enough experience prior. Of course, Hunter is the son of the great Kent Leidig, a Camaro Mustang Challenge legend in NASA and a great gentleman. Hunter goes to Virginia Tech, and he actually won the 2019 CMC class following in the footsteps of his father there in the NASA Mid-Atlantic region. So hopefully we'll get that feed on the Facebook better for you.
Interesting data point, John. Matt Cresci's fastest lap so far is about a second off of his qualifying lap. I know they use different setups, but I think there's a lot to be said for fuel conservation and tire conservation in this race too.
Well, I think Ken Kurtz said that he is running the identical setup, or a setup that he came up with, which he shared with Matt Cresci. So it looks like Ken Kurtz is becoming kind of our legendary race engineer, kind of a Jean Tot or something like that.
Very nice.
All right, on board right now. Go ahead, Will, call it.
Yeah, riding on board with Matt Cresci in the Eco Brap as he's already into some lap traffic. Really cool. If you're
is he touring with an electric vehicle or something different?
It's a electric car that gets from his house to there to Sonoma on charge, and it's pretty cool.
What kind of cars?
I don't know. It's
building an electric Beetle right now, a 71 Beetle. So if you're out there, you can follow along on that. I'm going to post a bunch of stuff. Yeah, David High, Booster Association for Auto Shire, pretty cool project. So for the problems we're trying to have Facebook and see if we can get the team to kind of in a little better. I know it's super tough to watch. Thank you for sticking with us. We learn a little bit more about the broadcast every week, and we have just strange technical challenges to deal with. But pretty good race so far. Working lap 7 right now. About 8 minutes out of 45 minutes elapsed. Cresci is out in front. We have another problem. Apparently, iRacing has dropped, so we are really, we're having issues on the production booth end. So again, we apologize. We're trying to do our best. We do appreciate you all tuning in, even if we're kind of stinking it up tonight. But we're doing our best to try and give you a good substitute for racing. So, Will, what do you hear on the grapevine about local tracks, and how are things going out there in Texas?
Things are going good in Texas. Our governor just announced that they're going to be slowly reopening some businesses. So they're going to reopen a bunch of retail this Friday and give it 2 weeks and see how it goes. So nice that a lot of Texans get to get back to work, and the stay-at-home order is going to be lifted on Friday. Still a lot of social distancing practice and a lot of seeing how that first 2 weeks goes. But there's a lot of people down here ready to get back to work and in good time get back to the track, of course.
Well, these are unprecedented times, and sure would appreciate it if you all out there in the electronic world could support your local sanctioning bodies, whoever you usually run with. Doesn't have to be NASA. We're one big family out there, and we really would hope that you keep your license and membership current to help us through these tough times as we hopefully will start going back maybe the end of next month, somewhere in there, with some track events. We're very hopeful for that, and we are working on social distancing practices that we can put into place at the track with the help of our medical director, Dr. Greg Greenbaum. And we'll hope to get back soon in a safe way and in a way that is responsible and get us back to track. I'm really missing the smell of, race fuel and, hot brakes and stuff like that. It's really tough. All right, folks. All right. Praise the flying spaghetti monster. We are back. So the iRacing feed is back. We've been struggling with technical stuff all night. Austin Edwards is now in front, taking it away from Cresci. So Austin Edwards right now in the 118 car that we're following right there. Matt Kresge is right there, and Hunter Leidick is all over Kresge. Gun Kim about a second and a half back from Leidick. Honk Sorenko is 10 seconds, 12 seconds back from Gun Kim, and then Andres Prieto, Harry Voigt, Nate Olson, Eric Foss, and Scott Adams. That's your top 10 so far. All right, folks, so the feed is back up and working. So we are very happy to have that back, and we are now working lap number 11. 11 minutes into a 45-minute contest. Again, Will mentioned that we will have a pit stop at minute 22 or so. So that will be an interesting addition to this feed. Right now we've got that battle. Looks like Kresge is almost 2.5 seconds back from Austin Edwards. So that's a big development. So once again, we are following our leader. Well, actually, that's Kresge right now in the yellow car. I believe Austin Edwards was driving the red one that's just in front of him. Kresge trying to chase down Austin Edwards. There's Austin Edwards right now in that red Dallara DW12, hitting down through the corkscrew. Looks like he's driving a nice, consistent line. Best time for Austin Edwards so far is a 106.57. Kresge's best, a 106.83. So there must have been a bobble with Kresge that allowed Austin Edwards to get by. But now Austin Edwards is hammered down, and they're starting to have to deal with some of the lap traffic. And that can be very challenging, especially in a car that reacts so quickly without the great sight lines that you have in some of the other cars. So nice pass there on the inside of turn 2 by Austin Edwards, getting through some of the lap traffic. Kresge is in that yellow car with 2 cars between him and Edwards right now going under the Cooper Tires bridge. On board right now with Kresge. Ooh, that's a nice pass, but again, you have to be very situationally aware because the driver that you just passed may not see you there and may try a different line, and then all of a sudden you're in the weeds. And open wheel cars are not forgiving with contact. Fender cars can take a little bit of a hit, but open wheels, you lock or you bash into somebody, and it's pretty much that car is very fragile. Nice pass down through the corkscrew there. Again, we're watching Matt Kresge right now, the Eco Brap entry. Back with our leader, Austin Edwards right now. Headed down towards the final turn into the straightaway. We'll follow Edwards through the straightaway and see if he has any traffic coming up to deal with. Looks like he does have the number 12 car coming up pretty quick. Well, actually, it's a different. It looks like the number 18. He's going to be in traffic in just a minute. Why don't we go on board with Austin Edwards and see how he works this pass? Oh, that was a spun car right there. I believe that was probably Todd Honk Sorenko. He had an issue there and ended up spun. Here we go. Have the replay of Todd's in-car. Around and whoa, yeah, he saw some traffic and that was it. Looks like another spin. Wow, all kinds of craziness happening now.
I'm trying to recover from being hit on the pace lap.
Oh, Ken Kurtz on the broadcast now. Ken, how'd that happen? Oh, another one down the corkscrew backwards. Oh, sorry, Ken. I picked the exact wrong time to talk to you.
Yeah, I got rear-ended on the pace lap and had to come in and get a new rear wing.
Well, that's no good, Ken, and I assume your crew worked on it very quickly?
Yeah, they did. I had to serve a penalty for coming in and passing everybody, trying to save some time, so that hurt too.
Oh, you did the I was 7th? And for those of you not familiar with that that reference, just look on the YouTube or somewhere like that and look up I was 7th. It's a hilarious video where a driver ended up not getting his grid position, and he's hollering at the grid marshal, I was 7th, I was 7th, while the whole field leaves. And then he passes basically the whole field on the formation lap to get back in place, which, not so great.
It was a massive field, too, at VIR.
Yeah, and he was,
cars.
It was crazy. All right, battle for 3 and 4 right now. Gun Kim and Hunter Leidick. Hunter has absolutely no gap with Gun right now. great battle between these two. They've been doing really well in the Pro League so far. Gun Kim in particular has been, I believe, on the podium very frequently in both the club and the Pro Leagues, bro.
Yeah, Gunn is a resident shoe here on the sim, and a NASA Texas driver as well, and he performs week after week on the sim really well.
On board now with Hunter Leidig, our young champion out of the Mid-Atlantic region there. Hunter's driving a nice, consistent line. Again, if you get in the paint, or if you get a little bit off, it can be a pretty, let's say, challenging traction situation for these really high downforce and high-speed cars. Looks like they are coming up on some lap traffic right now. Again, that's Gun Kim in front with Hunter Leidig just behind. And look at that. That's a cool shot. You can see the little striations there of the alcohol exhaust as it comes off. That's really neat. God, this is amazingly detailed. Every week I find something new that just completely geeks me out. All right, so we are on board with number 15, Gun Kim from Texas. Look at this. Oh, man, this is so cool. We even got the suspension cam. Looks like Gun is coming up. Oh, no, that's Hunter. Is that Cressy? No. Oh, we're riding with Hunter following Gun, of course. I'm getting confused. Sorry. It's so exciting I lost my mind. Coming across the stripe into the first couple of corners there on board right now with Hunter. That's Gun Kim in his sights. You can see they're both driving similar lines. Looks like Hunter's getting a little push there. Of course, as the tires get hotter, and that's going to be a strategic and tactical all together. It's like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So it's going to be a strategical decision on whether you want to take on a fresh set of skins there, or if you just want to get gas and take off, and maybe a bag of chips or a bag of coffee. All right, following Gun Kim and Hunter Leidig. Oh, we just focused in on Eric Foss there. Looks like he hit a cone, and it was kind of. It's good.
The world's fastest pylon.
It's kind of freaky.
The county of Monterey is going to send Eric a bill for that.
Well, it kind of looks like Beaker is stuck on the front spoiler.
There, no. There it goes.
I wonder what Dr. Bunsen Honeydew would say about that. All right, folks, throwing a little Sesame Street there at you. There, he was with Scott Adams there, and then managed to hit Beaker, and it was a little bit of an impediment for him there. And of course, he'll be getting a bill from the county.
One thing that's really cool that Eric Foss has been talking about. Eric is a pro driver out of North Texas, and he's driven a lot of the real pro cars that are in iRacing. And as Matt Cressy has driven the actual Global MX5 Cup car. And with all the racers going virtual racing these days, they talk a lot about the differences between the actual car and the iRacing car, and the similarities and the goods and the bads. And it's certainly not perfect based on the feedback from the guys that have driven both of them. And it seems it actually makes it harder when you're expecting the car to drive a certain way. It's really tough for Matt to drive the Global MX5 Cup car in iRacing, as he knows what it actually drives like at this actual track, and has a little bit of trouble with it. But in the IndyCar, which he's never driven, he's near the all-time world records here at Laguna Seca already. So it's this funny back and forth of being super critical of real versus virtual, and it's really cool to see some of our top tier drivers being able to give that kind of feedback.
Very cool. We are having a little weirdness in the timing screen, but I believe we're watching Voigt and Honksarenko. We're having a great battle right together for there. Right now, whoop, a little bit of a spin. Oh, Todd looks like he has another spin there. May have busted something with the car. Maybe a sway bar or drag link or something like that has gone south, and he'll need to hit into the pits probably to get that fixed, because I would imagine that having a busted part makes these things pretty undrivable. And that's how realistic it is, just like in the real world. All right. There is Honksarenko, and he is not coming in. Okay, so maybe it was just something where maybe you know, like what happened in NASCAR, came in and turned off his screen for a minute, which is yeah, the struggle is real. Right now, 21 minutes down out of 45, working lap 19 again. Austin Edwards out in front. Will, is the pit stop scheduled to happen right at 22?
I think that was the feedback I got. Been testing a bunch that it was going to be between lap 22 and 24 for that these cars are going to need fuel here.
Lap 22, not minute 22.
Yes, correct.
Copy that. Okay, so we are working lap 19. So it looks like actually working lap 20 now. Austin Edwards was across the stripe again. So we will be looking for pit stops to start soon. And again, it's a strategical decision of when you want to take on gas to have enough for the end of the race, but you also don't want to be too heavy, and you also don't want to run out. All right, folks. So we are, you know, having trouble with the feed again. The frame rate's not great, but hey, you can always, we're going to cut it and dice it and slice it later on, and you can watch it a little bit later in the comfort of your own home, because of course that's where we all are right now. I am in unincorporated Yolo County. Will is in Austin, Texas. TJ's in Illinois. And we had a very interesting creak there. It sounded like something out of the Haunted Mansion. Will, I think you need to service your chair.
It definitely needs a Zerk fitting there too.
The challenges we don't have in the real world that we have in the virtual world. Okay, following Austin Edwards still now. Again, we're at 22 minutes in, so Will said between minute 22 and 24, he's going to run out of go juice, so he's going to have to be strategical when he gets in there and tries to figure out when to add gas to his Delora DW12. Will, about how many gallons do these hold, and how long does it take to fill one up?
Great question. I don't know. The simulation should be close. It should only be a few seconds to fill. I don't know how many gallons it is, though.
It's 18 and a half gallons.
There we go.
Ken Kurtz with the data, or the data.
All the way up to 10th place, too, now.
All right, we have people starting to head into the pits, so I think we're starting to see some fueling and maybe a change of the tires.
Yeah.
All right.
I think I saw Michael Richter and Eric Foss the pit row for fuel.
Yep. Could be a smart choice. That'll help them move up the order pretty quickly. Looks like Edwards is falling off a little bit. Something may have happened there. Matt Cresci now in the lead position. All right, Austin Edwards is pitting right now. That was your leader. So he is taking that pit stop. Looks like just about everybody's coming in now. So working lap
Really
22 at 24 minutes. And oh, that's freaky where you can just drive through the silhouette of another car. I'm still getting used to that in the Thanos snap. Where suddenly half the race cars just disappear. And of course, if you want a good laugh, there's a thing where I think it's Josh Brolin and Ryan Reynolds trying to make each other laugh, like see who can make the other one laugh. Kind of the insult challenge. Oh, nice recovery there. That could be a spinny place because when you come into that turn, you are on the binders hard. Of course, that's the second turn. The first turn is kind of that kink that's up there. And it can really mess you up when it's kind of a little bit cambered funny. And if you're on the brakes, it'll really imbalance the car. Actually, no, we're looking back down the straight right now, so I was incorrect on my call there.
Looks like Matt Cresci and Hunter Leidick coming in for fuel now. See how it sorts out when they come out of the pits. Make sure not to get caught speeding in pit road, and where it ends up where they come out with Austin Edwards.
All right, so Austin Edwards now moving up because, as we noted, he did stop for gas, and now Edwards is out in front once again.
Edwards out. Matt's got to be right behind him coming out of the pits there.
Yep, about 3.5 seconds back, so we'll see when they start speeding up. And we've got a great battle going between Edwards, Cresci, Leidick, Harry Voigt, and Gun Kim. Todd Honksarenko still in the pit. So as we noted, he spun a couple times. So not only is he getting gas, but he may be fixing some damage.
Harry Voigt, I didn't see him pit. He's up 4 spots from his starting position in 4th. We'll see if he has to pit in the next lap or 2.
Well, I think I saw Harry come into the pits earlier, so he may have splashed some gas there too.
Yeah, he might not have needed to take the full tank and got right back out and made up some spots.
All right, 26 minutes now down out of our 45-minute contest. Again, this is NASA Sim Racing, the Pro League. We are coming at you from WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca in the iRacing League. We're very thankful to have support from our sponsors, Toyo Tires, Hawk Performance, and Competition Motorsport. All right, and Harry now has just come into the pits. You can see he is in on your scoring feed there. So under 20 minutes to go, far over halfway now. So everybody's coming in, taking some gas and tires, watching Harry Voigt right now. Now there's Hunter Leidick currently running P3. There's Austin Edwards P1. Leidick about 9 seconds back from Matt Cresci. Gun Kim is about 10 seconds back from Leidick, and Andres Prieto is now about 20 seconds back from Gun Kim. So all of these cars have just come in for tires and fuel, and now they're starting to come back up to race pace. So best time so far looks like it may be Cresci's 106.32 that he ran earlier in the race. Looks like hard charger might be Austin Powell. Oh no, sorry, that's a red number. So it looks like Richard Woodruff actually is up 6 positions from where he started. So he may be our hard charger tonight. Will, what are all the different awards that are available this evening?
Man, there's a lot of great awards. Being the Pro League, there with an entry fee, there's some cold hard cash. Winner's going to take home $100, and we're paying some cash all the way down to 4th position. Toyo Tires is also paying out their real world, if you will, contingency for our sim leagues, which is really cool. So tonight, being the Pro League, the winner's going to get 300 Toyo bucks, 200 to 2nd, 100 to 3rd. Hawk Performance is also paying out $100 to 1st, 90 to 2nd, down $10 all the way through 5th. And trackdecals.com, another buddy of mine out of North Texas, is paying track credits to 4th place through 10th place to get some vinyl done from trackdecals.com. A lot on the table tonight, and really grateful to have our sponsors be a part of our NASA Sim Racing Leagues.
Right now, following the battle between Richter and Eric Foss, I believe. Or actually, I think that's Ken and Mike Richter. Ken Kurtz and Mike Richter. Richter just got around Ken. All right, folks. Well, we do have a lot of shuffling going on because of the pits right now. Austin Edwards still out in front, then Cresci, Leidick, Gun Kim, Andres Prieto, Nate Olson, Harry Voigt, Scott Adams, Mike Richter, and Eric Foss. That's your top 10.
Yep, I just made my pit stop.
All right, Ken, how'd it go?
It went well. We got all the fuel we need to finish this race and some fresh tires.
All right, well, good luck, Ken. Right now, looking at Chris Splendoria. He's right now locked in a battle, I believe, with Paul Whiting. The two of them going at it right there. Trying to get around slower traffic that just came out, I believe, out of the pits. There's Harry Voigt right now. Harry Voigt right now looks like he is in a good battle with Nate Olson. And that's for peace. Actually, Andres Prieto was right there. So things are shuffling for us a little bit, folks. I'm trying to call it off the scoring feed. A little hard to see some of the details on the cars because they are moving so fast. Right now, 30 minutes elapsed, a little over 30 minutes, so 15 minutes left in our 45-minute race. Everybody's completing their pit stops, taking on fuel and maybe tires if that's their strategic and tactical or strategical decision. right now following Edwards, and he is 5.5 seconds out in front of Kresge. Hunter Leidig 4 seconds back from Kresge. Gun Kim 5 seconds back from Leidig, and then Nate Olson is about 30 seconds back from Gun Kim. So the top 4 are checking out. Looks like Eric Foss just had a little bit of a shunt. We'll go on board with him and see what happened coming up the hill. Heading down into the corkscrew and lock up and adios. Ooh, that's a scary place to get stopped too, but he handled it very, very well.
Got out of the way.
Well, and he managed to get stopped before he yeeted it right into the wall there. Oh, and he went around again. I spoke too soon. Well, Eric's a total pro.
He told me this car in iRacing extremely difficult to do more than 7 laps without going off track in. So,
well, it's a challenging platform for sure. The Global MX-5 Cup car is very forgiving. I even real world, it's such an awesome race platform, but we're kind of used to seeing that from Mazda over the years. Right now, Austin Edwards still out in front. Kresge 6 seconds back. Another 6 seconds back from Kresge is Leidig. Actually, 11 seconds. Well, it's changing all over the maps, folks. Sorry, it's not so static. I'm doing my best here. All right, looking at Hunter Leidig right now out of the NASA Mid-Atlantic region. 22, the double deuce. Hunter's best time in this race so far is a 106.70. Best time overall still belongs to Kresge with a 106.32. But again, it's a game of tenths here and in some cases hundredths. And the qualifying was super close. There's Gun Kim right there. That light blue car. I noticed on the social medias that Gun had shared his livery with everybody to get them all stickered up correctly for all the contingency packages. Gun has hit it up the hill now. That's traditionally where you usually have to lift for sound depending on if you can spot the marshal there in the bushes. Laguna Seca, beautiful facility, often has sound limits in place. It's very rare to get an open sound weekend because of all of the restrictions that are on the track because of the beautiful homes that are all around the hills there. So a traditional track day, you'll see all these goofy exhaust setups where people are taking like 2 or 3 mufflers and hanging them off the bumper and pointing them all different ways just to make it work and not get blasted by the black flag for sound. There's Kresge in the Eco Brap entry. Look that up online for a little entertainment about how you can race and be environmentally friendly. We are in kind of a changing world now with the electric versus internal combustion argument. I'm kind of an old knuckle dragger, so I never thought I would actually be into electric stuff, but as I've learned more about it, it's pretty darn cool. You just have to wire up a boombox or something to make all the vroom vroom noises.
yeah, Matt tows his Spec Miata to the track with the electric Kia Niro, and he built a super light little trailer to get there with it, and it gets all the way from the Bay Area to the South Bay all the way to Sonoma on a single charge towing his Spec Miata. Pretty cool.
That's insane. I thought it would have thought it'd been something big like a Model X with a little more battery in it, but man, that's actually amazing he's able to pull that off. So right now, folks, 35 minutes or 34 minutes in, about 10 minutes remaining. Judging on lap times, that's probably about 10-ish, 11-ish laps. Austin Edwards putting on a great performance, still 5 seconds ahead of Matt Kresge. Hunter Leidig is 6 seconds back from Kresge, and Gun Kim is 4 seconds back from Leidig. Looks like we do have some folks that are pretty far back. So as Will said, this car is very challenging to drive. Right now, watching Edwards coming down through the corkscrew, the home of the Zanardi maneuver. So we are a little bit spread out, but still great. A great show of skill here. Not seeing any wheel lockup or anything like that. That has to be tough to do when you don't have the greatest feedback, or you're working on a simpler rig. There's Gun Kim again with whoa! All of a sudden the Thanos snap. The Thanos snap. What on earth?
Pretty cool watching the battle for 8th here. My good buddy Scott Adams, and out of Texas here, and another buddy Mike Richter, also out of Texas, in 8th and 9th. If Mike can get past Scott, it looks like he'll seal the hard charger award, assuming nothing else changes. But if our buddy Ken Kurtz can get past Mike, he'll get the hard charger. But if Eric Foss can get past Ken Kurtz, he'll get the hard charger. And as I say that, Mickey Miller picks up a spot, moves into 14th, up 4 spots from his starting position, as does Richard Woodruff. So lots to battle it out for here.
Dang, Will, when you started saying if then, it sounded like an old school statistics or algebra class used to make my head hurt when I was a kid.
I know the feeling.
One train leaves California going 600 miles an hour. Another one leaves from Detroit. How much pizza does it have on it? Ooh, saw a little wheel lockup right there. That's the battle, I believe, between Kurtz and Harry Voigt. Just went past. So we get these great, ooh, someone just yeeted it right into the bank there. Chris Lee went full send. See what happened there? It's a fairly common place, I believe, to have an oops. Yep, just got a little loose and bang! Ow, that had to hurt. Took the whole nose cone off. All right, Chris is in the pits now, getting all fixed up. Hopefully he's back out there soon. Now following Scott Adams out of Texas. Now there's Austin Edwards, our leader, with a comfortable 4.5 second gap back to Matt Kresge. Leidig is 8 seconds back from Kresge. Gun Kim starting to make up a little bit ground on about 38 minutes left, or 38 minutes elapsed, working lap 34 out of 45 minutes total. Looks like hard charger so far. Mickey Miller and Richard Woodruff. Will, what do they get if they're the hard charger?
Hard charger gets $50, cold hard cash.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, they get their entry paid for the night. Cool to see Austin Edwards out front. Austin's another one of our teen racers out of Southern California.
Yeah, it's a great program, you know, that was started by the late great Ron Cortez, where there was really some mentoring that went on, you know, with the Teen Mazda program, and he really created something special. And it lives on today, even though Ron is no longer with us. But what a great program to try and get kids out there racing and get them in a really stable car with huge support from Mazda. They get a chance to head out with Mazda and win a full season in the Global MX-5 Cup car if they're one of the winners in the Teen Challenge, along with drivers from SCCA and other places that have done well. Even I think even from iRacing, the top driver there gets an entry.
Yeah, every year.
Austin Edwards going by Ken Kurtz.
Every year they take the top national champions, the NASA Teen Mazda Challenge winner, and typically an iRacer as well to go do the Mazda shootout for the scholarship.
Well, very cool, and it's becoming an increasingly valid option now that the world has changed a little bit. Looks like Ken just had a shunt there. So lots happening in this race. 21 entries tonight. Let's see what happened to Ken. Ken was hit it into the corkscrew there, lost the rear, and spun, and then got back on. Not an uncommon place to have that happen. All right, following along, Austin Edwards working lap 36 now. Less than 5 minutes remaining. That'll probably be about 3 or 4 laps. And we will see the end of our second race in the NASA Sim Racing Pro League. Of course, brought to you by our good friends at Toyo Tires, Hawk Performance, and Competition Motorsport. Please visit all these vendors for their support of online racing through this tough time. Looks like Andres Prieto had a moment. He was running great in P7. We'll see that moment right now, I believe. Yep, lost the rear end, went around. Ooh, and then smacked the left rear. Ooh, and almost got collected there. That can be a really scary place because everybody's kind of looking towards the outside of the track there, and if you're parked there, they've got nowhere to go. All right, back with the leader. Of course, we are coming at you live, kind of, in iRacing. We are at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. This is the NASA Sim Racing Pro League for tonight. So, Will, Austin's had a lot of success so far. How has he finished so far in his sim racing career with us?
I'd say one, he's a heck of a shoe, and two, youthful exuberance, and three, lots of seat time practicing in iRacing. I don't know. I don't have the actual stats of race finishes in front of me, but
Yeah, right on.
good kid, good driver, and showing it tonight.
Well, and so much of being successful in a race car is time, and just tightening that loose nut behind the wheel.
That's right.
I think
Seat time.
I think he may have just gotten into a lap traffic there. That was close, near miss. Let's see if it affects the performance of Austin Edwards' car, because he did have a near miss coming down onto the front straight.
Yeah, Matt Creshy's in striking distance, just under 3.5 seconds behind him. So
right, so one little mistake and Creshy is on him. All right, now 42.5 minutes out of 45 remaining, probably about 2 or 3 laps left here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. See, Will, I'm getting better. I don't say Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca quite as much.
you just thought about it though, so you got to be careful now. Finger on the nose.
Well, yeah. So my good friend Rob Klepper, I used to work with quite a lot. I would always say absolutely, and he said, "Hey, you have to." He's a pro. He's a total pro, and he took me under his wing. And he said, "Look, you're saying absolutely too much after I say something." I said, "I'm sorry, man. I can't help it." He said, "All right, I'm going to hit you if you say absolutely again." And sure enough, I went and said it, and you can hear on the broadcast recording, if you listen, you can hear a little absolutely, Robin. You hear, "Ow!"
Absolutely, John.
Oh, I'm coming for you. All right, we're watching Austin Edwards.
You absolutely
out of
just
California.
missed a big spin up in the corkscrew too.
Tell us about it, Ken. What happened?
No, I think he's talking about the one that we saw him go for last lap.
Oh yeah, we saw it, I think. All right, coming up on 44 minutes elapsed of our 45-minute race. There's Austin Edwards. He'll be setting the flag for us. Probably next time by, I would predict a white flag lap. But you don't want to assume. As I learned during the Spec Miata race at COTA when I incorrectly called the flag condition. Ouch. That's when I learned about a great site called, or a great group, the Spec Miata Man Drama. Big shout out to that group. Always enjoy their commentary as well. That's where I learned the term Larry.
Don't be a Larry.
Don't be a Larry. Don't be a Larry, be an Austin, right?
That's right.
He's putting on a clinic tonight, folks.
White flag out, white flag out. This is the final lap.
All right, Ken Kurtz coming in with the data that it is the white flag lap. So Edwards just has to hang on to it. Creshy not too far behind, so if anything happens, Matt Creshy may be able to sneak onto the top step. Hunter Leidick holding solid right there in the third position, but Gun Kim is right on Hunter Leidick, and he knows it is go time. Time to send it. All right, so here comes Edwards down the corkscrew. Only a few turns left until he crosses the stripe and takes the victory here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, running the Dallara DW12. Very challenging car to drive here in the iRacing world. One corner left. Let's go on board with Austin Edwards and see him take home the prize. All right, there it is. Austin Edwards with the win. So it is time for him to make the donut. See if he pulls that off. Very nice performance there. Master work from Austin Edwards. Creshy did secure a second position, waiting for Leidick, Kim, and Olsen to come across the stripe. Hunter Leidick does take the final step on the podium, then Gun Kim in fourth. Waiting for Nate Olson right now to come across, and that will be your top five. And I believe those are the racers that are in the money. Hard charger right now looks to be Ken Kurtz. So Ken will take home a prize, $50, breaking even.
Oh
And
no, it looks like Richard Woodruff. If he
Oh.
finishes this lap, it's up
Oh, he's
five
left.
places from his
Oh,
starting position. Yeah.
oh, the injustice.
I don't know though. Ken got into the top 10 though, so that's pretty impressive.
That was really cool.
My buddy Scott Adams right ahead of him in eighth.
Yeah, the race didn't go as well as I was hoping. That's for sure. I had higher hopes.
All right, folks, we are seeing the checkers starting to come out at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. Again, we so apologize for the quality of the feed tonight. Oh, and then Austin nerfed it right there, but it is time to make the donuts for Austin Edwards. Great performance from Edwards. We do apologize for the stream quality. We'll try to get that ironed out, but with so many people working from home right now, the interwebs is a little unpredictable, as I've found. And of course, if you out there have kids with the distance learning, you found that that can be a real challenge when everybody's online at the same time, mom and dad trying to get some work done, the kids trying to do their learning, and all of a sudden the router just goes kaboom. So, folks, Will, final thoughts?
Great race here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Week 2 is in the books for both the NASA Sim Racing Leagues, both the club and the pro. If you'd like to join us, we have a website now. Check us out at sim.nasaseries.com. All the information that you need to get started, links to register, links to the forums to ask questions, all the news, how to join NASA, the list of contingencies, FAQs, the whole shebang is at sim.nasaseries.com. We hope you'll join us. Thank you for tuning in. Love hanging out with y'all on Tuesday nights, and we look forward to seeing you guys in future weeks.
All right, Will, what's on the table for next week? What's next Tuesday night?
Next weekend, we're going to Texas Motor Speedway. It'll be the club league running in the Global MX5 Cup car, and then the week after that will be the pro league there. We run the Roval. I picked that one a little bit selfishly. We were supposed to be racing at Texas Motor Speedway this weekend.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so when I made the schedule for the Sim League, I thought it'd be nice for us to still go there and run on the Roval like we would be, but heck, this is still fun on Tuesday nights, and hope everybody will join us.
All right, folks. Well, with that, we will close out the broadcast. Thanks for following along at the Tuesday night fights, and we will join you. We'll see you next weekend